Hello everyone, welcome back to Angela's Craft Room. Today I've got a bit of a different video for you. I've been having a go at making my own embellishments so that they match my cards, so that when I get an order I mightn't have the exact colour that I need to coordinate with what I've put on the card. So today I just wanted to show you some ideals how I've made my own embellishments. Okay, so my first one, what I did was I cut a piece of 8" by 3" cardstock. I normally use designer series paper, but so you can see the lines. And what I've done is I've done a curtain fold. And then all I do then is just from the beginning, just do the normal first mountain, then valley, then mountain, then valley, mountain, valley. And we just go right along and we do the whole thing. Okay, and I will put the link to the card that I use this fold on, because it's got all the measurements. It's got the 8" by 3" and it's got where you need to score it. But you're not putting this on a card as a curtain fold. We're just using it to make our embellishments look a little bit more interesting. Okay, so then I would burnish that with my bone folder, and then what I would do, and I've done one ready to save some time, that's all folded and I've burnished it with my bone folder, and then I've put 3 strips of tear and tape on the back. Now I'm not going to pull them off, because I would if I was going to put that on my card, but I'm going to use it as part of my embellishment. So I would leave the tear and tape on the back, and I'm not even going to, normally I would put adhesive under each fold. I'm not going to do that until I've cut it. Okay, so to cut that, I'm going to use my 1 3/8 scallop punch. This is a bit tricky. You just have to get it in there. And I'm just going to punch through those layers. Pull that out. And so that's my first, and I'm lucky because where I've punched it, it's still got a little bit of tear and tape on the back, but I'm just going to put a little bit more. So this first embellishment, I'm just going to cut that out, and then I would put just on the little embellishment, I would put some tear and tape under each fold, just so to hold it in place, and then just press that down. And in this specific case I think I only need to put 2. It's just another option. You don't have to be spending money on embellishments and trying to get all the colours, you know. It's a great way to make your own embellishments. So then I'm just going to press that down, because I've just put the tear and tape and the folds are going to stay there. Now so that's like that. Okay, so then what I would do is I would put a corresponding cardstock behind that, which I'm going to use Early Espresso, and that is with the 1 3/8 punch. So now I'm going to use the 1 3/4 circle. and I'm just going to cut a circle out, simple as that. And then I'm going to pop that on there like that. So actually, I don't need the glue. I just need to take this tear and tape off the back, and that will work as my adhesive. And then I'm just going to pop that in the middle of my early espresso. And in this case, I'm going to use one of the buttons from True Gentleman Buttons. And I'm just going to see which, that one will go really well because it's got some nice early espresso on there. So then I'm going to put a bit of tear and tape on the back of the button. It's the best thing to adhere your buttons to your cards is just a bit of tear and tape. And we just peel that off because glue just will not stick a button. I'm sure me it won't. So I'm just going to put that right in the middle. Like that. Now if this was for a lady's card, I would put a pearl in the middle of that as well. But I have got some candy dots here, not sure if I'm going to have one that's probably put, no, I might actually put one of the blue ones, because after this, my next video, I'm going to come back and I'm going to make a card for you using some handmade embellishments that I've made. It's a little sticky devil. So you just want to stick that right down in the middle. It's always hard with, you don't want to put pearls and rhinestones on a mail card. So that does go with the early espresso. So that's a very easy embellishment to make, and it looks lovely on a card, and you could make different sizes to go on your card as well. So we'll put that one up there. That's the first ideal. And then my next one is very simple. I'm going to use my 1 3/8, and this time I'm just going to cut out a piece of DSP, and I'll grab a piece of early espresso. That's 1 3/8. And then this is 1 3/4, which is the circle. And then what I do is I just pop that onto the early espresso cardstock, or whatever colour you're using. I normally use glue, but I want to cut this and the glue won't dry in time. So you could even just pop that on as corresponding with this as well if you wanted to. But another ideal is you would just cut that straight up the middle and then you've got two halves, which is what I did with this original card. I put one half up there and I put one half down here. So that's another way that you could do it. So that's another ideal. And my other one is I would, using my 1 1/8 of an inch scallop, I stamped on Whisper White, and then I cut the sentiment out with my 1 1/8 of an inch scallop punch. So that would be my top layer, and then I'd go to my 1 3/8 and I would cut out a piece of DSP, and then I would just layer that onto there. Actually, to make it pop, I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals onto there before I put it on the DSP. Like that. And so it corresponds with that other one with the button I did. I'll grab another one of these blue and I would just pop an enamel shape onto there. And this isn't a waste that I've done this, because what I would do is I would put all these into a cellophane packet, and because they're all corresponding, next time I do a mail card, I've got some embellishments ready to go. So you could leave it like that, but that was 1 3/4. So that was 1 3/4. So we'll go 2 inches. So then, so you've got the 1 1/8, you've got the 1 3/8. So then you go 1 3/4, and I would put, if you want to put the brown, it just depends on how it's going to look on your card, what colours you want underneath. And then I would, this is if you want a really good layered look, I'd take one of the blue, and that's 2 inches. So you're just going up a little bit each time, and then I would pop that onto there. So we can glue that. So I would grab this one and I know it's not empty. It's not going to come out for me, so I'm going to just grab my snail. I would normally use the Tombow. It's just being stubborn for me today. So then I'm just going to put that onto the centre of the early espresso. And then I'm going to put it onto my blue cardstock. So you can layer it as much as you want. Another thing you could do is you could emboss with an embossing folder for your big shot. like all your cardstock before you cut it out with your punches, and that would add even some more dimension. So that's 3 ready to go for me to pop on a card. And then another thing that you can do is, I'll just cut out a piece of where I think I need it cut out, about there. So just cut that out with the 1 3/8. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down that fold like that. Just pop some tear and tape there, because I will be using these on a card. Maybe not in the next video, but I'll just see. I think I'll do a male theme card for you next time. We never seem to do enough male themed cards. Like that. And then we'll put a piece so it just holds the fold down. So then you've got another way of having 2 halves. Now I haven't put any tear and tape under there for a specific reason, because if you were making a card, seeing if I can grab a piece of cardstock just to show you what I mean. So pretending that is the front of your card, because you've got that little fold there where you've scored, you could actually slip it over the card, or you could have it just flush on a part of the card, or just before. I shouldn't have really put that tear and tape down. I should have shown you how to do this first. Sorry that I'm just out of camera. I'm just pulling it apart. So before putting the tear and tape, sticking it together, put the tear and tape in, but then you can put it on one of your edges on your card. So that's another option. So if I was to do this one, it's really a bit of a waste. But if you had a little tiny spot, which quite happens to me quite a lot, you could just use that to fill in that little spot that you want to fill in. So that's another ideal. So, you know, it's really fun making your own embellishments. And then we've got these 2 as well, which would go in with this as well, which we could use these on the card quite easily. And I know I would definitely use that on. So depending what card you're making, you know, you could even say, if you hadn't cut those in half, say it was a full circle and you're doing a male card, you could add dimensional to the back of this shoe image, and you could put that onto there before popping it onto your card. So there's so many ideals to make your own embellishments. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you'll try that technique, and I'd love to hear how you get along with making some of your own embellishments to make your cards more personal. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, happy crafting!